Have you ever watched your perfectly friendly dog suddenly freeze, back away, or softly growl at one specific person who seems completely normal to you? It's a baffling moment. You might quickly apologize, assuming your dog is just acting stubborn, being overly protective, or perhaps sensing some kind of unexplainable bad vibe. But what if it isn't magic, a random mood swing, or a behavioral flaw at all? What if, in that exact split second, your dog is reading concrete scientific signals that your human senses completely miss? The truth is, when your dog rejects someone, they aren't just being difficult. They are actively detecting microscopic biological and behavioral clues that reveal a person's true internal state. And ignoring these warnings could mean forcing your dog to interact with someone they know is hiding something. So, how exactly do they do it? It is a situation almost every dog owner has faced. Your usually friendly dog refuses to interact with someone new, choosing instead to hide behind your legs or let out a low, warning growl. Naturally, you might feel embarrassed. Because we want our dogs to be polite, our first instinct is often to pull the leash, apologize, and urge them to say hi. This is where the misunderstanding happens. We assume they are just being stubborn, poorly socialized, or overly protective. However, dismissing this reaction as a behavioral flaw is a mistake that can actually damage the trust your dog has in you. They aren't acting out. They are picking up on a hidden reality. In this video, we are going to break down 6 scientifically proven ways your dog recognizes an untrustworthy person. Canine cognitive research, behavioral science, and real-world observation reveal exactly what your dog is trying to tell you through these specific signs. So how do they know someone is bad news before a single word is even spoken? It all starts with a sense we cannot even comprehend. Number 1, they detect the chemical smell of hidden intentions. When a stranger approaches and offers a friendly hand, your dog might step forward, take a deep sniff, and then abruptly back away with their tail tucked or hackles raised. To many owners, this looks like shyness or even unprovoked rudeness. We often assume that because the person is smiling and acting sweet, our dog is just being difficult or poorly socialized. However, dogs experience the world primarily through their noses. With up to 300 million olfactory receptors, their sense of smell is so incredibly powerful that they can detect minute chemical changes within the human body. Studies on canine olfaction suggest that dogs can actually smell sudden spikes in cortisol and adrenaline, the hormones associated with stress, fear, and aggression. If a person is forcing a polite smile while secretly harboring malicious intentions or extreme anxiety, your dog smells the chemical mismatch. They are reading a biological truth that the person is trying to hide. The best advice here is to never pull your dog forward or force them to accept a pet after they have sniffed and retreated. Trust their olfactory assessment. They are picking up on a toxic chemical signature that you cannot perceive. But their incredible detection doesn't stop at their nose. They are also watching the stranger's face closer than you might realize. Number 2, they read human micro-expressions better than we do. Have you ever noticed your dog sitting perfectly still, staring unblinkingly at a new guest's face? It can be an uncomfortable moment, and it is easy to misinterpret this as your dog trying to assert dominance or challenge the visitor. You might feel the urge to break their focus, assuming they are just being impolite to someone trying to say hello. But science tells a different story. Dogs have evolved alongside humans for thousands of years, and research indicates that they process human faces using specific, highly specialized regions of their brains. Because of this evolutionary bond, dogs are masters at catching micro-expressions, tiny involuntary facial twitches that reveal a person's true emotional state, often flashing across the face for just a fraction of a second. While you might be captivated by a stranger's warm greeting, your dog is noticing the subtle tightening of the jaw, the fleeting squint of the eyes, or the microscopic drop of a smile that reveals underlying hostility or tension. If your dog fixates on someone's face and then shows signs of discomfort, do not reprimand them for staring. Allow them to keep a safe distance, recognizing that they have spotted a visual red flag. While they watch those fleeting expressions, they are also listening closely to something hidden deep within the person's voice. If this is helping you understand your dog better, Take a second to like this video and subscribe. And stay until the final sign, because it is often the one owners miss the most, even though it can completely change how safe your dog feels around you. Number 3. They analyze acoustic anomalies in a voice. It is common for a stranger to approach your dog using a high-pitched, exaggerated baby voice to seem friendly. Yet sometimes your dog will instantly flatten their ears, back away, or let out a defensive bark. Owners often mistake this for their dog simply being startled by loud or unfamiliar noises, thinking they just need to get used to the sound. In reality, canine hearing is profoundly complex. Dogs do not just hear the volume or the words. They analyze the underlying acoustic frequencies. They can detect microscopic tension in human vocal cords. If a person is internally frustrated, angry, or anxious, their vocal cords tighten, creating a subtle harshness underneath the fake sweet tone. Your dog can hear this acoustic anomaly. They understand that the forced friendly pitch is a lie, and the underlying frequency is the truth. If your dog reacts defensively to someone speaking sweetly to them, trust your dog's auditory judgment. Do not pressure them into interacting just because the person sounds nice to you. And it is not just about how the stranger sounds to them, but how that stranger interacts with the most important person in the room, you. Number 4. Social eavesdropping on how they treat you. Picture this. You are having a conversation with someone new, and suddenly your dog physically wedges themselves between the two of you, or they begin to act cold and distant toward the other person. Many people immediately label this behavior as jealousy or resource guarding, assuming the dog simply doesn't want to share your attention. However, studies on canine social cognition have shown that dogs actively engage in a behavior known as social eavesdropping. They carefully observe the interactions between their owners and other humans. If your dog watches someone acting unhelpful, aggressive, or dismissive toward you, they take mental notes. They will often choose to reject or avoid a person who treats their owner poorly. Your dog isn't just guarding a toy. They are judging the stranger's character strictly based on the social dynamic they witness. This is a profound display of loyalty and emotional intelligence. When your dog steps in, recognize that they are defending your social standing. Never scold them for this protective instinct. Instead, evaluate the interaction yourself to see what negative cues your dog picked up on. Sometimes, though, the danger they sense isn't in the present moment at all, but echoing from their past. Number 5. Associative memory of past trauma. There are times when a dog will react negatively to a specific type of person, perhaps men with deep voices, people wearing large hats, or someone wearing a particular cologne. To an owner, this can look like random, unprovoked aggression or prejudice, making it deeply embarrassing when out in public. But veterinary behaviorists often note that this is a classic example of associative memory. Dogs have powerful, long-term associative memories, especially when it comes to fear. If they were previously harmed, frightened, or intimidated by someone with specific physical traits, they will project that past danger onto a new person who shares those traits. To your dog, the stranger might not actually be a bad person, but they trigger a very real, very terrifying memory of danger. It is crucial to understand that this is a trauma response, not simple misbehavior. If your dog reacts this way, calmly advocate for them. Remove the pressure, step between your dog and the trigger, and never force them to confront the source of their panic. Finally, the most profound way your dog identifies a bad person has almost nothing to do with the stranger and everything to do with you. Number 6. Emotional contagion. They are actually reading you. Perhaps the most confusing scenario is when your dog starts barking aggressively at someone, and you secretly realize that you also felt a sudden, inexplicable sense of unease about that person. You might think your dog has a magical sixth sense that acts completely independently, warning you of danger before you even knew it was there. In reality, the science behind this is called emotional contagion. Because of your intense bond, your dog is deeply connected to your physiological state. When you feel subconsciously threatened by a bad person, your heart rate spikes slightly, your breathing changes, and your body releases stress chemicals. Your dog smells and feels these changes instantly. Often they react defensively to a stranger because your own subconscious picked up on the danger first, and your dog is simply mirroring your body's hidden alarm. They aren't just judging the stranger. They are reading your hidden discomfort and stepping up to protect you. The greatest advice for any dog owner is this: always check your own emotions. If your dog is suddenly anxious around someone, ask yourself if you are truly comfortable with the situation. Your dog is acting as your biological mirror, reflecting the truths you might be trying to ignore. From detecting hidden chemical stress and reading fleeting micro-expressions to mirroring your own unspoken anxiety, your dog uses profound science to assess the people around them. Understanding these signs means realizing your dog isn't just being difficult. Truly understanding your dog isn't just about analyzing their behavior. It is about respecting how they perceive the world and validating their natural instinct to protect you. The next time your dog softly growls or backs away from a stranger, will you force them to say hello, or will you trust the unseen reality they are trying to show you? If you learned something new about the way your dog speaks to you, subscribe for more quiet truths about canine behavior. And if you want to discover the everyday habits that secretly make your dog lose trust in you, watch the next video, because some of them look completely harmless.